Have you ever handled nested list, that is list inside a list, or something known as two-dimensional list in Python? List is one of the most commonly used data structure in Python, and nested list find its fit in many complex algorithms. Watch out this video till end to know details about the various list operations in Python. You can find the documentation of this video at aipython.in. Thanks for subscribing this channel, and if you are new to this channel, then click on the subscribe button to get connected with AI Python. Give a thumbs up to the video if you like the content. It definitely gives us a motivation to produce more informative content like this. Hello everyone and welcome to AI Python. This is lesson number 13 and we are going to learn part 2 of the list data structure in Python. In this video we are going to understand the last part of the list where we have discussed about various functionality: replacing element in the list, extending the list, membership function in the list, sequence unpacking, introduction to 2D nested list or two-dimensional list, and various list operations in two-dimensional list. So in the last video we have learned about various type of lists and how lists are used in Python. You can find the link for the last video from the I button displayed at the top right corner of this video right now. We have also learned how we can access a list element in Python and various list operations in Python like adding, removing, deleting, counting the number, reverse, copy operations, and many things. You can watch out the video to get more detail about it. In this video we are going to first understand about replacing the element in the list. Replacing an element means how we can replace the existing element. Since list is mutable, we can replace, edit, or delete the elements in the list, as we have seen in the last video. For example, we are interested in replacing a particular element of a list, then we can replace that particular element using command mylist. That's the name of your list. In the square bracket you have to give the index number. So here if I wanted to replace element at index number 0, I can give a command mylist, open and close square bracket, 0, your index, and then particular value which you want to replace previous value with. So in this case my previous value was 22 and I want to replace this 22. So I cannot write directly the value, instead I will write the index number. So I want to replace the value of 22. In simple word, I wanted to replace index number 0 with 10. Then I can use this set of commands. We can use -1, as you know from the last video, that to access the last element of a list we can use -1. So I'm replacing the last element with 200. So my previous element was 2.7. Now I'm replacing with 200. So my list become 200. Let's see through an example. My list equal to, it was 22, 34, 7, maybe 2 or 1, and then I want to replace my list. I want to replace the first element, 0th index, with, let's say, 100. Now if I want to check my list, the new list will be modified with 100. Similarly, to replace the last element of the list, we can use this with assignment operator, maybe 400. So the last element will be replaced with the 400. So 1 will be replaced with 400. So we can check. Yes, it is replaced with 400. Extending a list in Python. When we sometime wanted to extend or add few more elements, not in an individual 1 or 2, rather than a list itself, so we can use a function called extend. So for example, we have a list called mylist which has element 10, 34, 7 and 200. Now we want to extend this list to accommodate few more elements. We have a function called extend. So we can use mylist.extend and then specific element or list. This list gets added at the end of the existing list. It will extend the list. We'll see the example. When we are adding 1, 2, 3 to my list, then it is getting appended at the end of the list. There is another method to duplicate where we wanted to multiply the number of elements. So here my list star 2, that is multiply by 2. If I multiply the my list with 2, it will not multiply the individual element, rather it will add same number of element which is already present in the list. So it will duplicate the list and make it as a single list like this. The element like in white is same as element in the green. They are just duplicated at the end of the list. So we'll see through an example. Like I said, my list equal to 10, 34, 7 and then 100. I want to extend my list dot extend, this is function, and then list, any list you want to give, and then close normal bracket. We'll see now new list will be my list is accommodating the previous one also. Now we'll experiment with multiplication. So now I wanted to write my list multiplied by 2 and see the same number after say 10, 34, 700, 1, 2, 3, and again start with 10, 34, 700, 1, 2, 3. I hope this is clear. If you have any question related to this, please provide your input in the comment section. We'll love to answer all your queries. Membership function basically ensure that if the element is present in the list or not. It basically finds out and say in true or false term whether the particular element is present in the list. So membership function can be accessed through in command. Like if I say 7 in my list, so the element 7 is present in my list. If the 7 is actually present in the list, it will give me a true value, otherwise it will give me a false value. If I write 20 in my list, then 20 is not in my list, it gives me a false value. And this is very important in many of the operations where you have a numerous number of element in the list and all of a sudden you just wanted to find whether this particular element is there or not. This will help in case the size of the list is very big. Okay, so we'll see through an example. We already have the list. We can write maybe 34 in my list. This should be true because 34 is present in my list. If I wanted to check 500 in my list, so this will definitely be false. I hope you understand. So we have sequence unpacking. Okay, this is very powerful topic. Mostly I have seen on YouTube and other media. It's not been discussed, so I like to discuss. Please pay attention here. Sequence unpacking means collecting two or more elements from a list in such a way that two collected elements when joined together will output the same list. What I mean in simple word, if you have a list which contain 3 elements and if I use sequence unpacking to extract all the elements, if I combine the extracted element together, I can form the same list. In this example, if I assign first, second, third to a list, then the first element, that is 2, will be assigned to first, 3 will be assigned to second, and 4 will be assigned to third. Till now this is not sequence unpacking. Now for example, I want to assign the first element to a particular variable and the remaining to one variable. So in that case we can do first, we can write anything. This is just a variable name. For convenience I have written first and then comma star. This is star is unpacking, sequence unpacking operator. So if you write a variable name preceded by star, that is start with star, equal to some list, the first element will be assigned to the first variable, that is 2 will be assigned to first, and the remaining element will be assigned to a new variable name, whatever variable name you give. Here I have given remaining just for convenience. We'll see through an example. Let's say we already have my list with lot of numbers, so I would say f comma star all. So here f will hold number 10 because 10 is the first element, and star all will hold the value of all the element. So if I write equal to my list, then you can find the value of f and all will be remaining all values. And most important thing, it will not repeat the element. So whatever element is there, it won't repeat the element. Next example, here instead of first element I have used last variable to hold the last value, and the star value will hold all remaining element apart from last. I hope this is understood. So whichever is having star with that variable name will hold all the value except for the variable which is defined along with sequence unpacking operator. So here initial will hold 2 and 3 and last will hold 4. I hope this is clear. We'll see the 2D list. Till now we have seen what is single list, like flat list with all the numbers, different data type. Now 2D list is some kind of list which is the element itself is a list. So if you are confused, this is a normal list. Now 2D list is a list inside a list. Now if I make last two element as a list, then this become nested list, 2D list. So now I can say the list is inside a list. I hope this makes sense. In the first list we have 4 elements, 22, 34, 7 and 24, but in the second list we have 3 elements, because you can't consider individual element inside a list when doing an operation. So if I want to extract first element, I can write, this is we have discussed in the last video. You can find the link for last video from the I button displayed at the top right corner of this video, as well as from the description. So we know that to get first element, that is element at index 0, we can write list, and in the square bracket we can write particular index and we can find the element. So list 2 square bracket 0 will give me the first element, list 2 square bracket 1 will give me the second element, and list 2 square bracket 2 will give me the third element. Here third element is not separated, this is itself a list. So third element is a list. Now the question arises, if I wanted to extract the value of 7, then how can we extract? Yes, there is a possibility. So we have to first go to index number 2. At index number 2 we have to again go to index number 0. Second element is list, and once we get the list we have to find out the first element of the list. So with 0 index we can find 7. I hope this is clear. Similarly, to get 2.7 we have to write 1. So list 2 square bracket 2 square bracket 1 will give me 2.7. So this is how we extract the element inside a list. So when list is present inside a list, we can use two-dimensional list indexing method to fetch the element. We can see through an example. We can make a list. Let's list 2 equal to 22, 34 and then 7, 2.7, then close. Now this is two-dimensional list. To access, we know first second will access directly the third element. So we know, oh I'm sorry, list 2. So this is 7.27. Now to access the first element of list 2, list 2 and then 0, this will give me 7. And similarly, if I replace 0 with 1, it will give me 2.7. I hope this makes sense. A few more example of 2D list for your understanding. It could be, the list could be at any position, list inside list. So there are many lists inside one list. This is still a 2D list only. There are many more than one list inside that particular list. So list operations in 2D. As we have seen in the list operations of our normal list in the previous videos, similarly there are functions for 2D list also. So we have list 2 as this one. Can you guess what is the length of list 2? Yeah, I told you earlier, yeah, this will be 3, because last element of the list is a list itself, but although list 2 will have 3 elements, 22, 34 and the last list. Yes, it will be 3. We'll see through an example. So list2.pop, what it will give, if you have went through the last video, I'm sure you'll be able to answer it. Yes, pop function will remove the last element, and last element is list itself. So this will remove 7 and 2.7. We'll see through an example. So we have list, already defined list 2. Now if we want to check the length of list 2, oh, I'm sorry, it is in lowercase. Yes, please keep in mind that naming are always case sensitive. So list 2 will have length of 3. Now list 2.pop, this will give me 7 and 2.7. So I hope this is end of this video. If you have any questions, suggestion or feedback, please write in the comment section. We would love to help all your queries. Wish you a wonderful learning and see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll keep on adding the content, so please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.